All right, so we have Yolanda here today. She is a part of my membership program, and one thing that find really special about her is she is currently growing her channel just by using a live stream. So right now she has about 500 subscribers and 1,000 watch time hours. And how long ago did you start?
I started at the end of February,
So what is that, like 3 months?
just over 3 months. Yes.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit about your journey on YouTube and how you got started? What inspired you to get started?
Sure. Thank you very much for having me. And I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. And if you're watching on replay, thank you so much. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think of the live stream. But I started my YouTube journey. It literally kind of just, I don't want to say fell into my lap, but I don't have a better way to describe it. I am a longtime football NFL fan, and I moved up to the DMV area in 2015, and I fell in love with how much this environment, this city just really embraces and then loves the Ravens, how they really rally behind the team. And I had to immerse myself into the culture as well. I did that and I fell in love with the Baltimore Ravens too. And then in 2018, we drafted a quarterback from Florida, which is my home. And of course, I had to support someone from my hometown. And I found myself just watching a lot of the live streams because fast forward to COVID in 2020, obviously there's no going to football games. There's no interaction really because everybody is kind of locked down. And I found myself watching a lot of YouTube and interacting with individuals virtually who also love the Baltimore Ravens. And I would make guest appearances starting last year on various YouTube channels and watching, listening, consuming, taking it all in, just really enjoying the camaraderie between like-minded individuals, people who really love to talk the Baltimore Ravens when we had a really good game or when we had a really not so good game. It was always very therapeutic to come on live stream. So I was encouraged by other YouTubers. Hey, you've been on my show. Why don't you come on my show? You need to start your own channel. I said, no. I fought it for about a year. I said, no, I'm fine just coming on, making appearances on everybody else's channel and just giving my 2 cents. But sure enough, this year I, prayed about it. I said, I'm going to do it. And here we are 3 months later.
Yeah, so how did you first start using live stream as a part of your channel strategy? Like, did you initially think that you were going to do live streaming, or what was your whole process behind that?
My initial thought was I was going to do a combination of both. I was going to do some live streams, but that would be more toward the start of the NFL season. And so if you happen to love football or you watch football, or if you just, casually understand that during the off season after the Super Bowl in February until preseason in about August, there's not really a whole lot going on. So I figured, well, what I'll do is I will do videos primarily during the off season. And then when the regular season or preseason begins, after the games or even previewing the games before the start of the games, I would do live streams. Well, I started realizing soon that editing takes time and a lot of it. Plus, I am an extrovert by nature. I love interacting with people. And it was really difficult for me just to sit behind a camera, record a video. I just didn't feel that I had that connectivity with my audience. And it was something that I missed or something that I felt like I wanted. And at that point, I said, well, what can I do? I can try my hand at live streaming now, as opposed to waiting until later on toward the start of the regular season. And that's what I did. And since then, the live streams have been really, really fantastic in terms of growth of my channel.
Okay, so how do you plan your content for the live streams?
Ooh, it's a lot of prep. For me, it's a lot of thought process, a lot of mental bandwidth, because for my particular niche or for my particular audience, these are individuals who love the game, know the game. And as a casual fan like myself, obviously, I've never played football. I've never coached the sport. So I have to really study and prepare. So, just as an example, when I do a live stream, I take handwritten notes. I write out my points and I script out like bullet points what I want to say. I will create 3 to 5 topics because my live streams are usually about 30 minutes to 35, maybe 40, 45 minutes at most. And what I like to do is I want to discuss whatever is relevant, right, in the NFL, but specifically what's relevant to the Baltimore Ravens since the last live stream. So that's how I kind of approach anytime I, turn that camera on and press record and start my live stream. I'm usually very, very methodical, very planned. I don't really know that I can just sporadically start live streaming without any preparation, primarily because, as I mentioned, for my particular niche, you've got to be able to speak the language and you have to understand what it is that they want, what it is they are looking for. And in order for me, as someone who is just really, I love the sport, but I'm not as well versed as some of my viewers, but to be able to speak their language, it takes quite a bit of prep on my part.
Wow, same. I also can't like really talk, like just go off on a whim and just start talking. Like I need some notes. Okay, we have a comment here. It says, whenever I do a live stream, it doesn't seem to show immediately. It seems as though it goes on private mode by default. Is that the case?
That's a really good question.
I'm wondering, are you scheduling your live streams to be on private mode? Because that's the only way that it would sort of like go in private mode. You would have to like check your upload settings or check whatever streaming platform you're using.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Beauty by Bridget, thank you for joining the stream. What platform are you using to do your live streams? And I'm familiar with a couple. So if you're using one of the ones that I'm familiar with, I'm sure I'm glad to give you any types of tips that I found helpful for me in making sure that your live streams are showing immediately. And also, just fun fact, I'll throw this in. When I live stream, I like to, if I'm able, sometimes it's not always the case because being that I do Baltimore Ravens, it's kind of like news reporting almost. There could be something that happens today and I have to just kind of go live. But I like to always, if I can, schedule my live streams at least a day, maybe 2 days in advance, if I'm able, because I want my audience, I want YouTube to push my content out there. So as many people who are searching for Baltimore Ravens or whatever your particular topic is, however many people are on that YouTube platform searching for your specific niche or your specific topic, they will see, oh, Beauty by Bridget, live stream tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern. I want to make sure, let me turn on my notifications so I can get, notified when she goes live. I like to do that so that when I start my live stream, I know people are going to already be there, hopefully. Not always the case. Sometimes you'll start a live stream and you might not have anyone in the chat waiting, and that's okay too. You keep going. I remember the first time I did a live stream and I looked in the chat and there was no one there. And I said, oh boy, I can either sink or I can swim. And I said, all right, we're going to swim. And I just continued to carry on as though there were, multiple individuals in the chat. And soon enough, within a few minutes, there were people joining me, and having people in the chat always makes it more interactive. And that's how I think you build a community, because people don't just see you as a face behind a camera. They see you as, this is someone who I could, I'd love to like have lunch with one day, or, meet them in person. Like we share the same interest, or we think alike in terms of whatever topic you're discussing on your live stream. So
I have a question. So, when you first started live stream, like, did you have much experience with that? And how has that sort of like evolved over time, like your methods and how you approach live streaming?
Okay, that is a very good loaded question. I do have experience because I'm a, well, you might not know this, but it, I have experience, but this was in my younger day. I did theater for many, many years. So I have experience in that specific area. I
Wow,
also did. So
I didn't know that.
I always wanted to get back into it, but I don't know that I can right now because just my job, I'm just very, very busy. But this is kind of a way for me to thread the needle, I think, with live streaming and not being able to be on stage anymore. But this is kind of so I think of live streaming, I approach it as really going back to my younger days and doing what I used to love to do. Only now I'm just seated as opposed to standing. But um, I think when I first started live streaming on my own individual channel, I thought it was just as simple as turn on a camera, plug it into a laptop, and then I run my big mouth, right? Wrong. This is very, very intense in terms of if you want to deliver quality, right, to your audience, which we all do. We want to be successful in this YouTube sphere. And when you talk about quality, it comes with practice. It comes with mistakes. And I'll give you some of the mistakes that I've made just recently. I don't have a background in digital, like cameras and computers. That's not my area. And I purchased a camera when I got started and I said, "Oh, I'll just turn it on." Oh, I didn't know there was a such thing as white balance. Oh, so one of my live streams, I'm orange. My background is orange. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh gosh, what am I doing wrong? And so I literally had to troubleshoot with experts so that I could teach myself, oh, you have to adjust your camera setting. So there's a learning curve to this. One more example, and then I'll promise I'll be quiet. Um, one, I
This is
started
good.
good. I hope it's helpful. I started using a new platform to live stream, and it's called Ecamm Live. I highly recommend it. It's only right now for Mac users. So if you have a Mac, Ecamm Live is an excellent platform for you to stream. It really allows you to take your live streaming to the next level. I cannot tell you how many people come to my show and say, I love your presentation. I love how because I don't just have a camera, I switch between scenes and slides, but we can talk about that later. But I think it was either my first or second show, and this was a month ago. I was using a piece of equipment and I was trying to press the button to show or to display a comment. And I thought I was doing really good, right? I thought I was doing great. And I said, yes. And John Doe said, and I was about to read John Doe's comment, and I hit the button to end the live stream.
Uh,
The middle of the stream. But that's okay. These are the moments that define us, right? It's about what you do next. And with sweaty hands, my palms were sweaty. I was shaking. I was nervous, but I turned that camera back on and I had a part two. And the part two said, we're back. And I continued my live stream.
yeah, that would have been the end of the day for me. I would have been like, yeah, we're wrapping it up. I'm not not gonna lie.
I would not want, the age old saying is true. Like if you have something that's shocking to you or traumatic or, a not like if you fall off of a horse, you're nervous about getting back on that horse again, right? I did not want to become traumatized and say, I'm not smart enough. I'm not capable enough to run a live stream using this advanced software. I just refused to allow it to get me. So I said, I don't know how that just happened, but it did. I pressed record. We're here. And I concluded my live stream. And then, after that, I was just like, I can't believe I did that. But you know what? I left it up. It's still on my channel. It will always remain on my channel because I want to be able to look back over the years or through the years and say, wow, look how far I've grown.
See, that's amazing. You guys are getting advanced live streaming tips on here today. Okay, so what equipment do you use for your live streams?
I primarily use a Sony ZV-E10 camera, which is what you're seeing me on right now, but it's not even the camera because I tell people, they ask me, I've had several comments. And again, I don't do a tech channel, I do Baltimore Ravens. But even the people who watch my show, they enjoy the presentation. And I tell them it's not the camera. At least I love the ZV-E10. I think it's a fantastic camera. It's the lens. The lens that I use is the Sigma 16 millimeter lens, which if you can see in my background, you've got that nice blur that gives it that depth of field. It gives it that cinematic, like pull you into a, like I'm watching a movie type feel, like cozy. That's the look that I wanted. So with that combination of camera and lens, and then I just plug it in USB-C to my laptop and I live stream. Another thing that was somewhat, I will say this. Let me take 2.5 if I may. Is that okay, Catara? Is it?
Yeah, all good.
Okay. I did not realize how in tune your audience is to every detail. I just didn't really think about it. Like I thought, okay, they're watching to make sure I know what I'm talking about, or they're listening to make sure I understand. Like I don't say, oh, the defense scored. Oops, I meant to say offense scored. Like they want to make sure that I have a working knowledge of what I'm talking. That's not true. I mean, yes, that's true. That's not the end of it. I had a subscriber tell me recently, love your show, love what you're doing, but your audio, can you turn it up? You sound very soft. Can you turn your audio up? And literally, it caught my attention to say, wow, they pay attention. They're not just watching me, they're listening, and they want a really good experience when they leave my channel. So that's what I want to give them.
Yeah, I mean, these people are on YouTube like all day. So honestly, that doesn't surprise me. Especially, like especially when you see like videos that go viral, they'll start like critiquing the audio and stuff. And it's because they're on the platform all day. And like me, I'm an editor. So like you kind of get an ear for things like that when you like literally listen to videos all day.
Wow. Yeah. I guess I didn't give it that much thought. I thought, oh, okay, as long as I'm speaking intelligently about the Baltimore Ravens, everything else is like, they don't care if I have a really nice background. They don't care if I have graphics. They could care less if my sound, if they have to turn their speaker or their sound up on their end. They don't care about that. They do. Every detail matters.
Wow, I love that. Okay, so how do you promote your live streams to your viewers? So I know you said that you may like schedule it out, but is there anything else that you do?
Sure, yes. The other way that I found very helpful in terms of promotion for my live stream, at the end of one live stream, I usually give this kind of closing. I'll say to my viewers, thank you so much for joining. I hope you all are well. I hope everybody has a great rest of your week. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Please subscribe to become one of our family members. Make sure you have your post notifications turned on so that you never miss content that's released on this channel. Next week, I will be diving into the second week of OTAs. So then I've kind of prepped my audience like, oh, okay, next week, Monday, when she goes live, we'll be discussing what happened at OTAs. So that's another way that I like to promote my live stream. At the end of the stream, I usually announce when I plan to have a next, or, like what I think the topic would be for the next live stream.
And another question, how do you keep your audience like engaged during your live streams? I know you have like a bunch of different ways, so give us all of the tips.
I think engagement starts with your energy. That's what I'm going to say first. It starts with you. You can have the best content in terms of it being informative, entertaining, helpful, but if your presentation is dry, or if you are, if you are not really in love or loving what you're discussing, it comes off as maybe you are being not like, maybe this isn't your thing. Not to say that something else might not be your thing, but I have to, when I watch a video, I want to see you really into your niche. You really enjoy it. And that excitement, right? It exudes, it transfers through the screen. And to keep my viewers engaged, I think it starts with the fact that I'm a radical Ravens fan. Like, I'm out here. I have my pom poms. I'm not going to show them right now. They're in the background because it will really burst your eardrums because they are super loud against the microphone. Maybe I'll go on mute and show you how fun they are. But you've got to, what I've learned is you've got to enjoy what you're doing, number one. And then once they feel like, oh, this person really knows what they're talking about and they're fun, they're enjoying it, right? But another way that I keep viewers engaged, I like to always stop after every point. So, like I mentioned, I might have 3 to 5 bullet points. After point one, I like to go over to the chat. Like, I'll say, let me see what John Doe has to say in the chat. And then I'll display John Doe's comment. And then I respond to it. Last live stream I did was Tuesday. And one of the individuals in my chat said, I think I said in my stream, I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Baltimore Ravens, we're almost here. It's almost time for our season to begin, knowing we have 3 more months. I'm still excited. And the gentleman said, my son is here. My middle son is here watching your stream with me. And he said, that's right. Go Ravens. He's excited too. And he said his son's name. And I read his comment and I said, I called his name. I said, tell your son, John Doe Jr., tell your son. I said, that's right. Go Ravens. Wear your paraphernalia with pride. Go to school tomorrow, put on your Ravens gear and just stand and square your shoulders. And he said to me, you just made my son's day. He's smiling from ear to ear. It was almost like a celebrity reached out to him and like gave him an autograph. And I said, so it's the little things that keep them engaged. And I find that when I display someone's comment, and I'm not here to argue because people have difference of opinion, I'll just ask them, I don't necessarily know if I agree with that statement. Can you tell me why you think that way? And I allow them to, I invite them to tell me why they think the Ravens are not going to be great this year, or why they think we're going to have a losing record. And I think a part of engagement too is making your live streams interactive to the extent you're able, by showing graphics or doing slides. And one thing that I would like to start doing that I haven't done is taking polls on my channel, asking, let me know if there's anything that you'd like to see coming up. Would you like to see? And then do like a poll, A, B, C, D. Would you like to see interviews or collabs or, more live streams or more videos, something like that, to where I get viewer input? I plan to start doing that too.
Yeah. And another question, because I heard you say that you get some people that may not agree with you. And, for the ones who don't know, she's actually a lawyer by trade. So do you enjoy that?
No. I tell people, as a trial attorney, I argue for a living, right? That's what I do. I fight, I argue. That's what I do all day. When I come home and I'm doing live streams, I don't want to argue. But I know that in my particular niche, that's what they want. They want that dialogue. They want you to go back and forth, and your team stinks and your team's not going to make it. And they want that. And I'm trying to make sure I incorporate some, give them some of that, but not too much.
That's funny. Okay. So what are some challenges that you faced when you first started the live stream, and how did you overcome them?
Challenges that I faced when I first started was really not understanding how much goes into producing a live stream, how much work is involved. As I mentioned earlier, I thought it was simple. Just, how hard can it be? I flip on a camera, I go on a streaming platform, and I talk. Well, you can do that. That's not to say you can't. You certainly can. And I'm a firm believer. start where you are. If your budget allows for you to live stream using a cell phone and or just a laptop, that's great. Do that. And as you grow and as you expand, grow your software or your equipment. Um, so it's not to say that you have to have certain equipment in order to reach people. No, some of the best content that I've watched as a Ravens fan, people in their cars on their lunch hour. Literally, if something happened at 10:30 in the morning, they take a lunch break at noon, they flip on their cell phone and they go live for 10 minutes. And they are holding their phone or they have their phone like on, kind of like what you do when you are using your phone as a GPS, the thing that kind of like holds your phone in place. They'll put it right there and they'll say, "We just heard an hour ago that Baltimore Ravens did XYZ." And those videos or live streams did very well. So challenges I faced was I bought this equipment. I don't have a background in any of this, but I just thought it was simple. Okay, fun fact, I don't like to read manuals. I buy equipment and not just equipment, just anything in general. I buy something, I'm like, I don't really want to sit here and read this. And true enough, I did not read a lot of the, manuals that I purchased for the equipment that I have, and I had to struggle my way through it. But how I overcame it is the challenges I faced is I refused to allow it to like stop me. Like I mentioned, there were streams where my color of my background or myself was almost orange, and I took a look at it and I'm like, oh gosh, this is awful. This is really bad. There was also instances where my audio wasn't correct, and I didn't know how to use a microphone, or I thought that the audio from my laptop was sufficient, and I learned. So what I try and do is whenever I do a live stream, my goal is to become 1% better the next time. And I rewatch every one of my live streams. And I know for some, it's like, I don't want to hear my voice. I don't want to see it. I get it, right? I'm there with you. But I feel in order for me to get better, I need to know what mistakes I made so that I can try to improve on them the next time.
Wow, that's so great. Okay, so have you noticed like any particular topics or types of content that attract more viewers to your channel?
Yes, my viewers love to see or love to hear me discussing how wonderful our team is. And maybe to a degree, putting on blinders on things that our team needs to improve. So I found that when I put out a live stream, or I title a live stream, the Baltimore Ravens are coming for everything this year. The Baltimore Ravens are going to be at the top of their game this year. The Baltimore Ravens are winning the Lombardi this year, winning the Super Bowl. Those types of videos are going to get a lot of views. Whereas when I call out some issues that our team has, like, okay, our front office needs to do this, or they didn't get it just right when they did this, those tend to be hit or miss in terms of what my subscribers want to hear.
And as far as like thumbnails and titles go, like what is your approach to that? And what are some tips that you have for live streaming specifically?
Yeah. Thumbnails are an Achilles heel for me. That is probably the worst thing, or the one thing that I feel I need to really improve. I have a vision of what I think my thumbnail should look like, but then when I start tooling around in Canva and then I start looking at it, I'm like, this doesn't quite equal what I wanted. So don't be afraid to outsource if you need to. If you can find someone who does really good work, or does, you like what they do and it's in your price range, don't be afraid to outsource. And so I find myself feeling like sometimes I need to do that when it comes to thumbnails. In terms of titles, I don't know that I've figured out the exact secret, but what I like to do is look at other Ravens YouTubers, see how they've titled their most popular um,
Yeah.
live streams or their most popular videos. And then I always like to put my own stamp on it. I don't want to ever copy someone else. I want to be as authentic as I can, but I do like to glean ideas and tips from other people. So I look at what brings viewers and what has been successful for others. And then I'll try to put my own zazz to it or my own spin to it. So I'm still working my way through with that as well, but definitely thumbnails is the hardest.
Yeah, titles and thumbnails, it will always be like an Achilles heel for like YouTubers. I find like you said, looking at other people's thumbnails and other people's titles and sort of like putting your spin on it, like that's literally are some of my best videos when I literally just go look at a video that somebody else did and literally kind of copy off of what they did and add my face to it. Not even kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough that, and I recognize that. I recognize it. So I know that there are, I guess there's software or subscription based things that people can sign up for, like vidIQ or different things that kind of help, applications or apps that help with that in terms of like how can I make the most creative title, catchy title, or how can I generate the most eye-catching thumbnail, or here's some suggestions. So I know that there are tools out there that are available. I would like to experiment with some of those tools. I haven't really to date, but I would like to experiment with some of the tools. It's just to see, and especially if these different applications or apps have a free trial, like a 7-day trial for free or a 14-day free trial, take advantage of it. I'm planning to do some of that myself to try and see like what works. And oh, this was this was something that really my viewers really gravitated to.
Yeah. And oh, it's a little bit of feedback. Okay, went away. I know you said that you are trying to like try new tools, but I also know you mentioned that you basically did this because you didn't want to edit any of your videos on your channel. And how do you think that's working out for you right now?
I think it's working out really well just because it allows me the freedom to live stream twice a week without having to worry about, okay, I've recorded a video. Now I have to stare this editing software down and try and make myself do this. But I would like to, and I do plan to add a video here and there in between just to keep viewer engagement. I did a video for the first time about 2 weeks ago, maybe. Yeah, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I had not done a video since I first started my channel back in February, maybe early March. I'd gone a few months without doing a video. And that video that I just released, I want to say has over 1,000 views 2 weeks ago. So they seem to really enjoy a balance of both. I think live streaming just accelerated the process of gaining, subscribers and watch hours, because in my particular niche, people like to come into a chat and talk with you. Even though it's virtual, they want to talk with you. They have thoughts, they have opinions. They want to be able to vocalize that. So I just open up a platform, a space where they can.
Yeah, that is really beautiful. Okay, so what advice would you give to someone who is just starting to live stream on YouTube?
Do it afraid. That's going to be my advice. Is it scary? Especially if you don't have a background in this, or if you've never done it before? Yes, it is. Is it nerve-wracking? Yes, it is. And for those even who have done it before, I still turn on the camera, and although I'm very comfortable talking on a camera, I still get nervous because it's my product, right? It's me. It's my voice. It's my thoughts, it's my opinions, it's my perspective that I'm now putting out there to the world to see, to hear. And there's always that bit of self doubt that tries to creep in. But the best advice I can give you, do it afraid. If you're scared, do it anyway. If you're nervous, do it anyway. If you don't know that if it's going to work, do it anyway. Um, and don't be afraid to try things, see what works. And you are going to make mistakes because we all do. And that's just a part of the process. That's a part of growth. It's not pretty. It's not fun. But, there was a show back in the day. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both. And there you have the facts of life. And that's kind of how I look at it. Like, there are some shows that I do that are really good. And there's some that I'm like, oh gosh, that was a mess. But I keep going. And so I would encourage you to do the same.
Yeah, and can you share any tips on increasing watch time hours during live streams?
I think the more you promote your video or your live stream, the better opportunity you have for individuals to join your stream and the more prepared you are. Because I can honestly say, and it might just be my particular niche. I can't really speak for other niches, but my particular niche, one thing I keep hearing over and over from subscribers, I can tell you put a lot of work. I can tell you do a lot of research. Your live streams are very well prepared, very well thought out. And I just think that your level of preparedness as you go into your live stream is important, and to whatever degree that preparation is. It doesn't have to be anything fancy that takes up all of your day. No, it can just be something, okay, I'm into gardening. I want to talk about how to garden during this season and what are the best, plants or vegetables or fruits to garden during this time of year. There you go. You've got 3 topics right there. And it can just be as simple as that. And then you turn your camera on or you turn on your laptop and you start talking and you share your knowledge. So I think that's a way to increase watch hours by being prepared and also letting your viewers know when they can expect you. Because one thing I realized about live streaming, and maybe just about YouTube in general, people like consistency. And I heard somewhere before, YouTube is kind of like going back in the day when you had a favorite television show and you knew every Friday at 8 p.m. your show was coming on and you look forward to it. You got excited about it. Like, okay, it's Friday night, it's 8 p.m. My show is coming. My show is about to come on, is about to start. And you didn't like it if there was breaking news and a trial was taking place and now your show is, canceled for the night. And how did you feel? Like, oh gosh, we now return you to your regularly scheduled program 30 minutes after your show ended, right? So you look forward to it. And I think the same thing applies here. Once people start to see you, trust you, enjoy you for you, they want to see more of you. And when you don't deliver, I think and that's not to say we all have lives. Things happen. There may or may not be a stream this week. I at least let my viewers know, like, hey, there's not really a whole lot going on right now in Ravenstown, but if there is, I'll see you back here soon. And then they know, like, oh, okay, well, nothing happened this weekend, so she's probably not going to live stream. Yeah.
Okay, and what are your future goals for your YouTube channel and how do you plan to achieve them?
I think my goals for my YouTube channel continue to grow and to continue to build a community because that's very important to me. I take the time to respond to all of my comments. When individuals watch my shows on replay, I'm appreciative because they leave a comment. They took the time, right, out of their day to watch me or listen to me. And then not only that, they left a comment. And whether the comment was nice or not, I make sure that I respond.
And how do you sort of deal with those negative comments? I think we kind of asked, but we didn't directly ask that question.
The way I deal with negative comments is I'm very short, I'm very curt. I had a negative comment, I think it was over the weekend. Yeah, it was over the weekend. And the person said that my channel offered no value. And I said, Happy Memorial Day weekend to you too. I hope you're doing well. God bless. I almost wanted to add, I hope to see you in next week's live stream, but I didn't. I didn't want to get snarky. So I just left it at, Happy Memorial Day to you too. Yeah. Um, there might come a time where that, thought process changes, but for right now, I'm just not really going to entertain it. Now, if the comment is something that I disagree with, doesn't mean that it's rude, but just you have a different take on the Ravens or my perspective differs from yours, I'll engage dialogue there. But what I don't ever want to stand for or deal with is disrespect. And if you're going to be disrespectful, then I'll no longer engage in dialogue with you.
Nice. Alrighty. Well, is there any last words that you would like to tell the audience today? Any words of advice, inspiration, anything?
Sure. Thank you. I would just suggest or recommend or advise follow your dreams. Don't give up. Never let one mistake, 2, 3, however many you make, never let that define you. Pick yourself back up. Remember, you can do it. You are enough. I tell my viewers that every day. And in telling them that they are enough, I'm also reminding myself of the same thing. So remember the reason that you started YouTube. Stay true to that. And I promise we'll all get there if we don't quit. And I will see you all on the other side of victory very soon.
Yes. And remind them what your channel names are. Yeah.
Okay, I have 2 channels. My primary channel is Ravens Talk with Yolanda, where we talk all things Baltimore Ravens football. And we also dive into a little bit of news around the league as it pertains to how our Ravens are going to fare. I also have a second channel, which is a plant-based channel. So if you are looking to incorporate more fruits and vegetables, juicing into your diet, head on over and follow me over there at Life with Yolanda. Thank you again very much for having me. This has been a joy.
All right. Thank you to everyone who is watching today. Yolanda did such a great job. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow at the other live stream.
Okay, well, make sure you come right back to this channel tomorrow for the next live stream. And on your way out, please hit that thumbs up button. Share this video with your friends. Share it on social media. Get the word out there that we're doing big things over here on this channel.
I need to get better at that.
I was doing that when I was live streaming with other people on their channels. They would say, do you have anything else to say? And I would tell them, listen, if you enjoyed tonight's show, please hit the like button. If you're new, welcome. One thing I said on one of my friends' show, I actually say it on my own show now. It's a way just to make people laugh. I tell them, I say, if you're having I hope you guys are having fun. And if you are, hit the like button. And if you're not, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Hit the subscribe button, come back, watch another video. I promise you'll have a good time. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter. Just hit a button. And the people seem to laugh every time I say it. So there you go.